Hey there, welcome to Board Game Barrister, our local game shop in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I'm Andy, and I'm here with Gordon, Theo, Glenn, and Jade, and today we're talking Ruins, a really cool game where you're going to collect and play Ruins cards in matching sets, but the really cool thing is that you can upgrade those cards throughout the entire game by adding these Discovery Transparencies. Let's get into it. Welcome to Ruins from All Play Games and designed by John D. Clare. Each player at the table gets 3 torch tokens, which we're going to start on our lit side up with the fire showing, as well as 2 of these claim cards in their color. Then we're going to shuffle that deck and deal 9 cards to each player. Now, all the cards in our Ruins deck are actually 2-sided, but we're going to start with them all with their day side showing that little sun up in the corner. They've each got a night side as well, and at the beginning of each round, everybody's going to look at the hand they were dealt, and if they want to, they can turn one of their cards permanently from its day side to its night side. So that upgraded my 6 into a 12. In this game, you're going to be racing the other players to try to empty your hand before they can do the same, and you'll do that by playing cards either one at a time, so I could play a single 8, or in matched sets of 2 or more cards. When it comes to your turn, you've got 2 options. You can either play cards or you can pass. So our first player can play anything they want to from their hand, any single card or any set of matched cards, and they'll do that by placing cards face up in front of themselves where everybody else can see. In order for the next player to make a play of cards, they have to play the same number of cards, but of the same or higher value. So the next player could only play 1 card, and it has to be a 7 or higher. So if the next player played a 10, then they become the new active set that needs beating, and the player after them would have to play a 10 or higher to continue play. And also worth noting, if you follow a play with a play of the exact same value, so this 110 followed by 110, then the next player in turn order is forced to pass on their turn, not optional. So after this second 10 gets played, the next player in clockwise order just has to pass their turn. Play is going to continue this way until everybody around the table passes except for the player who played the current active card or cards. So if this 10 was strong enough that nobody else could or wanted to beat it, and it came back around to us, then that's no longer the active set of cards on the table. We can start a new set with any cards we want to. So maybe a pair of 4s. And now everybody has to play a matched pair of cards that's at least this value or higher, and so on and so forth if it was a trio of matched cards or even 4. But the real intrigue in this game comes from the fact that whenever you play cards on your turn, you can immediately upgrade those cards permanently using the discoveries in the market and your personal claim cards. To do this, you'll follow up the play of your cards and before the next player makes their play by choosing any upgrades you'd like to add to those cards. Hey folks, sorry to interrupt. This is just a 15-second reminder that we're a small team of board game lovers running an actual board game shop here in Wisconsin. If you like what we do, you can support us directly by shopping with us online or by stopping in the next time you're in our area. Thank you. All right, back to your video. And to buy those upgrades, you just have to pay as many lit torches as are shown above that card. Those upgrade icons are shown on the little player aids in this game. So for instance, with the 10 that we've just played, we could immediately choose to spend one of our lit torches, flip it to its dark side. That 1 torch will pay for this cheapest upgrade out here. And this is an extra cards upgrade, which means that our 10 can now count as 2 10s. And worth noting, all discovery effects take place immediately when played or purchased. So this card that we just upgraded immediately could be counted as 2 10s if we wanted to. Now the claim cards are free to use, but you've only got 2, and they're permanent once you decide which cards to put them in. When you slot in a claim card, you are making a permanent claim to this card and its upgrades. Meaning in the future, if another player is dealt this card in their hand when we're dealing out a new round, they actually give you this card since you have laid claim to it. And you can do any number of discoveries and claims during this phase as long as there are cards for you to claim or discoveries you can afford. And at the end of a player's turn, if any discoveries were purchased during their turn, we're going to scoot all the discoveries as far as they can go to the right and replenish from the deck on the left. Now when a player is able to complete their goal and be the first to empty their hand each round, they're going to be rewarded for it. On here we see the first player to go out is going to score 5 points, second will score 3 points, then 2, and -1 player for the player to go out last, but you can never go lower than 0 points. The round ends once there is only 1 player left in the round. They'll be the one who gets that negative point value. And then we're going to start the next round by shuffling all the Ruins cards back together, dealing a new 9 Ruins cards out to each player, checking those 9 we were given for any claimed cards for other players. So if you see anybody else's claim card on those cards, you're going to hand it to them at the start of the new round, and then relighting all of our torches so that we're full up and ready for the next round. Last, we're going to advance our little round tracker to the current round number. You'll play the next round just the same as the previous, except now all those cards in the deck have been upgraded a number of times by various players around the table, and at the end of the following round we'll collect our scores just the same, And the game can end in 2 ways. The first is that if a player has 9 or 10 points at the beginning of a round, and then they proceed to be the first player to go out that round, they win the whole game immediately. So this can happen as soon as the end of round 3. And the other way is that if at the end of our 4 standard rounds of play, nobody's pulled off that first way to win, then we're gonna play a 5th showdown round. When this happens, we're gonna look at the highest number of points anybody at the table has. In this case, that would be 9. Anybody with that number of points will play in this final showdown round, and so will the player who went out first in round 4. So even if red had been trailing behind the whole game but managed to pull off the first out in round 4, then our showdown round would go on between purple, green, and red. They'll play one more round against each other, and the first player to go out in that wins the whole game immediately. Alrighty, so none of us had sat down to Ruins before. We were excited to see how they implemented the cool transparency sleeve system and everything in this, and it was a really good time. The first thing that stands out now that we are done with our game is that the box says it's about a 30-minute game, and that was not true for us. We played for a little over an hour, and we played the shortest possible game because Glenn won all 3 of our rounds and therefore ended it as fast as it could possibly be ended. We could have found ourselves playing another 2 rounds based on that. So this could have been like an hour-and-a-half game. Granted, it was our first time. We were still trying to get the hang of it and learn stuff as we went. But definitely I would expect to go over an hour on this one with a group of 5. The player count is going to directly affect the time it takes you to play. If you were playing with all the way down to 2 or 3 players, maybe it becomes more feasible to play in that 30 to 45 minute range.
So I was a big fan of the claim cards.
Yeah.
Because you could basically mark a card as yours, that in subsequent rounds when the cards are dealt out, if someone gets that card, they have to give it to you. Now this might mean that you end up having more cards than other people, but in theory, these should be stronger cards because you claimed it because it was in some way very beneficial to you. I mean, like the fact that I had a 23 proved to be really, really powerful in the game. So this was really good.
And I love the mechanic that the claim cards are built around too. A lot of games where you're upgrading stuff, and we've seen this with the transparency card systems and stuff through the last few years, you're upgrading your own stuff so that it's stronger and more powerful. But I love that this is one where you upgrade the stuff. Most of the time, the upgraded stuff you just put on the table is getting shuffled into the deck and then sent back out into the wilds, and anybody could end up with it. And I think that's so cool, is that we keep upgrading this set of cards, and then we as a table continue to see those come back up, but not necessarily the same player over and over again.
And as somebody who didn't claim anything, I also got dead last. So clearly that mechanic is meant to help you win, and not what I was hoping for, because I was kind of hoping, giving away all my claim cards, that meant I would have a hand.
Probably lucky into
Smaller.
it, but
Dude, I'm going to claim this as well.
What is that?
And I'm going to play a 23.
okay.
Opponent draw. The first game I played, I burnt through my flare, my tokens, my torch tokens, and I thought they were gone forever. And then as you go through, there's a card or 2 in there that lets you get those back, which really helps the deck keep building and building and building. And I thought that was really neat because definitely learned my lesson that first time through. And then we got through, and I was able to build up those cards, and then have that fire comes back to you card as a claimed card, and it was just really great. So I really. Using the total deck to figure those things out was really nice.
So we just played Jungo last week, which was awesome, and we've played Scout before. So we have played other games where you are playing something from your hand, and then can you beat the thing that other people have played? Like that's we've played a number of those. It's a thing that's out in the game world right now. This has a very interesting twist on that, which is that you are limited to matching the number of cards played. So if someone plays a singleton, you can only play a high card. And that is something we haven't seen in a while, but no, there's some really interesting strategic thought that I certainly haven't cracked yet in terms of what constitutes a good hand and how to play out your hand, because that's a constraint that is new to this era of games, at least in things that are getting a lot of attention, and I think it's really kind of cool. When thinking about who this game is for, there's a lot of little different things going on in here. So this is really for that group who likes to have games that have a number of different decision points, a lot of different strategies. If you were to bring this into your group that likes playing lighter card games, I would not mix this in with the same group who is playing, pick on Jungo or Trio or any of these other games that we play that feel superficially similar, because this has so many other decision points. This is for your group who likes to play the crunchier games, but yet in a small package.
I'll have a free look. Why not? Oh, it's thick. It's thick, friends.
Gordon's other claim.
Oh, that makes sense.
That's a nice card. Wow.
Ew, what do you do? This is a good option now.
Yeah,
no?
right?
Shoot.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you for calling that out.
And so while we were playing this game, it felt like the rules had tried a bit to simplify in order to make it more approachable, but definitely left us with a couple of key questions that we did our best effort to read as the rules were written and then just deploy that way. The first was that the claim cards really specifically call out in the rules that every time you are dealt a claim card during the dealing of new hands for a round, you must give those claim cards to other players. But there's card effects that let you draw cards or force you to draw cards off of the Ruins draw deck, and there's no mention of whether that is a time when if you draw somebody else's claim off of that deck, you then owe it to them. So we decided not. We decided that's really clearly called out. We think it's probably a thing where in this instance, I get to keep your claim card because I had the really random chance of drawing it off the top of that deck. So that's the first thing we kind of made a call on. Wouldn't even call it a house rule, more just a ruling based on how we read the rules. The second was a much bigger deal. All of these discovery cards and the basic Ruins cards themselves have the potential to have special abilities on them that affect the state of play at the moment. They're going to either give you torches back, make people draw cards, let you draw cards, change the values of your cards, and the rules call out that all of those are in effect immediately, but they don't do anything to say in what order those take effect based on the other actions you're going to do during the adding of discovery cards. So at the end of the day, we decided that we were going to say you can apply those effects in whatever order best benefits you, the player, in whatever order you want to do them in. As long as you can pull off some combo that works, you've got the discovery actions showing on your card to make that combo work. And this made some kind of weird scenarios where somebody would play a card, gain a torch from it, and immediately spend that torch to buy new discoveries for that card, things like that. We let it go for this game, and it didn't feel like it broke anything fundamentally, so you can play that way if you want to. The other way we were considering doing it was to say you can make any discovery additions you want to your card, and then resolve all of the actions on that card all at the end of that purchasing phase. But we went with the former, which we're calling the action soup, and you can choose to do it that way if you want to as well. But if you have questions about the same things during yours, know that you are not reading the rules ineffectively. That's kind of going to be a make up a ruling yourself or wait for official word from the designers. Alright, and we talked about it a number of times in this video. We loved Jungo, so if you haven't gotten a chance to watch that video from a few weeks ago yet, you should give it a look here. It's a really fun game, simpler than Ruins, really addictive, but has some similar set playing mechanics. For the time being, you can hit that like button, leave a comment if you got one, subscribe to see new videos every week when we post them, and check out our online store where you're gonna find Ruins and a bunch of other really cool games. Thanks for joining us this week. We're gonna see you next time.